In this design tutorial, I'm going to teach you guys how to do a very simple beauty logo. So, hi guys and welcome back to a new Photoshop tutorial. My name is Manny, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you guys how to do this very simple beauty logo that you're seeing here right in front of you guys. Alright, so what I'm going to do is first of all turn off all my layers again, the groups that I have here on the right hand side, and show you guys from scratch how to do this. I'm also not going to do a new canvas since I think you guys already seen this a few times. It's very simple, just go to Fill, New, and in here you can adjust your width and height and obviously change the resolution as well and create a complete new canvas. I normally have everything saved under 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels, choosing a 300 resolution and obviously changing the name. Once I'm done, I hit OK and I end up with something like this. Alright, so the canvas is new, we can start right away. So the first process that I want to do now is obviously just add a new layer down here from the new layer icon. And this new layer, I just want to fill that up completely with a new color. So I'm going to take the marking tool over here on the left hand side, going to select my complete canvas with a selection, hit right click, and I want to fill this up just with a random color here under the contents. Okay, let's select color. And as well, I'm going to pick here roughly like an off yellow as well again. As you guys can see, you guys can also get the values here and this number down here. Add this number to your color picker and you will also get the same color chart. Okay, then as well, okay, over here, Command D, get out of the selection. I'm working with a Mac. If you work with a Windows, please use Control when I say Command. Okay, so we already got the color. So again, I'm going to double click on here and just rename the layer to background maybe. So that's just for a rough start, just to get things going. Okay, so for the next step, again, I'm going to go back to view here and I'm going to say a new guide. Okay, select the new guide. First of all, horizontally, yes, I want to have somewhere in the center here a guide. Okay, I'm going to choose over here 50%, which means it's going to place a guide exactly in the center here of my canvas. Great, so for the next step, again, I'm going to work now, first of all, just with a few simple shapes. Okay, so I'm going to select the shapes here on the left hand side, just going to select the shape tool and as well the custom shapes. So just hit right click and select custom shapes, and I'm going to go here to my shape library. And as you guys can see, I've scrolled all the way down already, so we have tons of shapes in here, and I'm going to choose this shape over here today. So if you guys don't have this shape, please have a look. We've also created a tutorial teaching you guys how to create your own shapes, or you can also go on shapesforfree.com and download some more over there. Okay, so I'm going to select this one over here and just hit enter, and first of all I'm going to hold shift now, so it's equally expanding, and I'm just going to make roughly about this size a nice shape here, but obviously there's no color in there yet, so I need to also fill this with a color. So let's go up here to the application bar, and under fill I'm just going to choose a random color, maybe something like orange or so. Okay, over here we've got orange, and that's good for me. I'm gonna hit OK, and yeah, we've got that orange. As well, as you guys can see, we still have these outlines here. I actually do want to hide them. So I'm going to press Command Shift and H together to just hide them and see things a little bit better. Now as well, guys, if you work with Windows, please use Control when I say Command. Okay, so let's take shape layer here and as well the move tool. I'm just going to roughly move it somewhere into the center here. Also with the cursors a bit, you can also hold Shift, so it's clipping right away to the guideline here. Okay, next step that I want to do is first of all add a adjustment layer to this. So I'm going to go to adjustments over here and just a hue and saturation adjustment layer. Also, this needs to be clipping now to this color here. So what I want to do is with the layer, hold Alt and go between the two layers. And now you guys will see there's a little arrow appearing, which basically means that this layer will clip now to the shape layer. So if I go back here to my hue and saturation at the top, I can easily take the hue and just change that, and that will only affect that little round shape that we've just created with the color. Okay, so I don't know which color I want yet. I'm going to choose that in a moment. First of all, what I want to do is take the shape layer here again and just take the opacity down to maybe, let's say 50% for the start. Okay, 50%, that's great. Now what I'm going to do is take shape 2 and hue and saturation via holding shift, both layers, and I'm going to press Command G, put that together in a group, and I'm just going to write here group number 1. Just double tap on there and 1. Now Command J, duplicate that, and again Command J, duplicate that another time. Okay, over here I'm going to rename that to 2 and rename this to 3. Now I'm going to take group 2 and just move that over a little bit, somewhere to the center here. Okay, and I'm just doing this roughly via my eye. You guys can also, if you want to, calculate this a little bit better out with some guidelines again. Something like this, maybe a little bit down, a little bit up again. Okay, and I'm going to take 3 and also move that over somewhere here. And now I'm kind of looking that I'm pretty much got a same distance over here, so they almost together. Okay, like so. Maybe let's drag down another guideline so we can just see it here from the top. So this one is going a little bit too high. I'm going to take this down a bit. Yeah, something like that. Maybe I'm going to rotate this a bit, so pressing Command T there, which obviously brings me in the transform mode, but I'm not going to transform with these anchor points. I'm literally just going to rotate it now via turning here, like so. Accept it from the top. Great, so we've done that. I'm going to go back to the second group here and just move this circle into the center again. Obviously, don't forget, you can always use more guidelines to be exactly precise. I'm just being a bit lazy here and trying to do it without. Okay, so I've got all of that. Now I just want to change the color a little bit. So I can also take the guideline here at the top, throw that out, open group number 1, and go to my hue and saturation adjustment layer over here. I'm also going to go back to the hue and saturation here at the top, and let's maybe go with like a cool yellow or something for the start. Yeah, let's go a little bit over. Orange, yellow, there we go. A little bit something like a +7. Okay, I'm going to minimize that again, go back to group 2 over here, take again the hue and saturation layer, and with hue trying to get a really nice blue or something going. Let's move that all the way over to the side. Yeah, I think this type of blue. This is obviously a bit of a playing thing. I'm going to leave it over here at +64. Okay, minimize that and take group 3 again. Also hue and saturation layer again, and we're going to choose maybe something pink for the girls. Okay, so hue again, let's try that out all the way to the left. Yeah, and it's getting very, very pink over here. Okay, something like that, -97. Great, so now what I want to do is, first of all, I want to place the rings or these shapes actually a little bit different. So I just want to take group number 1 and move that on top of 2 so the yellow stands out a little bit, and I think they are still a bit too strong with opacity. So what I want to do is start again with layer number 3 here, or group number 3, take the shape layer, and just instead of 50% opacity, I'm going to move that down maybe just to like a 30%. Yeah, so it's not that aggressive. Okay, the same also with the blue. Let's try that. If we go to 2 over here, take the shape again, and let's turn that down a bit, like a 40%. That's great. Okay, cool. So we've already got like our minimal background going here. Now let's start with the text as well. So what I want to do is again call the text tool up. Here is the text tool as well on the left hand side. I'm going to make a huge selection here and just write beauty over here. Okay, so we've typed beauty and it's already in the same font that I've used earlier. So basically let's actually start out with maybe the other slogans that we also have under the main beauty logo. Maybe beauty is your main company name, so something like the slogan. So I'm going to use this for the slogan for the moment. Let's accept that. I'm going to run you guys through that in a moment. I'm just going to put it down here somewhere. And again, text tool again, make a big selection, and this time again writing beauty here. So jumping a few steps actually, just selecting all. And first of all, I want to choose the right font now. So I'm going to work with Bebas Neue again. I really love this font. You guys can also find all of that in the description down below, or on thefont.com. You can also download it there. Okay, so selected it. I'm going to make it nice and big over here, and as well choose a white foreground color, which is already selected. Great. I'm going to accept it first of all, and just take the move tool and move it somewhere over here. So I think the size is a little bit too small still. Select again the text tool. And I just press T here on the keyboard, just a shortcut, so you don't need to go over here. And I'm going to make it a bit bigger still, like so. I really like that size. So something around 58, okay. And let's go to the character box. Now, if you guys don't have the character box, please just go to Window again and select character box over here. Now, in this character box, I'm going to go to the tracking and just move the tracking out a little bit further, maybe to like a 200 or 240. I'm going to accept it quickly, take the move tool, yeah, move that a little bit over here, and just trying to place that a little bit nicer. Again, working with the cursors, up and down and having a look at it, and I think I'm pretty happy so far with this. Well, maybe not. I'm going to take the text tool once again and just make this a little bit further to 60. Okay, accept it, and let's take the move tool, move it over. Great, so now I'm happy. I can actually leave it over there. So let's take beauty now, which was apparently our slogan here. I'm going to move that over. Let's just select the right layers again, beauty over here. I'm going to move that in here, and this I want to rename to something like, obviously this whole thing is going to say beauty for your, I think, mind, body and soul, something in this way. So again, I'm going to write over here for your, all in capital letters. I think it just stands out a bit nicer then. Okay, and I already like also the font, which is again Helvitica Neue. You guys can also find that in the description down below or under font.com. As well, I'm going to choose here light, so it's not ultra light, not that super thin, and as well white foreground color at around 9 pixels there. Tracking for this is also a little bit set to 180 tracking here, so it's a little bit apart as well, but I'm pretty happy with this actually. I'm going to accept it, and let's have a look here. We're going to move that a little bit into the center. Let's also be a bit more precise. I'm going to go to view and say new guide, and again this time vertical 50%. So again 50% vertical, don't forget. Hit OK, and this is basically where the whole canvas center is, so I can see I'm completely off with everything. So let's select our complete groups 2, 1, 3, for your and beauty, and just again with the cursors moving that a bit over here. Okay, something like that as well, a little bit down. I want to be in the center of the ball. Okay, so our shape, great. I can delete this layer again, throw it out, the guideline here, and take for your, move it a little bit over. So again, judging this a little bit with my eye. Now, for the next step, again, create a complete new empty layer. I'm going to move that all the way, maybe to the bottom here. And I'm just going to rename this to line. You guys can also feel free to rename your things to whatever you like to. There's no rule for that. Okay, so line, and again I'm going to take the pen tool over here and literally put an anchor point over here and an anchor point over here. Great, so we already got a straight line. Now for the next step, very simple, just hit right click and say stroke path. So again with stroke path, select please the pencil over here, because this normally has a pixel size of just 1 to 2 pixels, and obviously it's going to work with your foreground color. So I think it's going to be black now. Hit OK, yes, and it's going to be black. So I first of all need to change my foreground colors. So let's go to history, just go to new anchor point. Okay, so we've already set in a step back. I'm going to switch back to character box, and as well now switch my foreground colors here to white. Now same process, right click and say stroke path, pencil. Okay, great, now we've got a white line. Okay, I can hit escape now, get out of the pen tool here, and also let's take the guideline here just with the normal move tool, throw it out, and as you guys can see there we already have our new little line over here. But something looks a bit weird here. I don't know why, but as you guys can see, we have a little bit of an extra spill here from this guideline, which I don't want. Okay, so I'm going to take the marking tool, just make a selection quickly around it. Yeah, and just this little extra spill, I'm going to delete that. Okay, out of it, Command D, get out of the selection. As you guys can see, the little extra spill is gone. Not sure why Photoshop is doing that. So watch out for these little things as well. For your is on again. Let's take for your just down a bit, or basically the line, and as well on the line layer still, again marking tool. I'm also going to make a rough selection over here, not calculating it again, just roughly, and hit delete. Command D, get out of the selection here, and as you guys can see we've got a nice line for your standing and it looks awesome. Okay, zoom out again. Next step that I want to do is take again for your and make just a duplicate of that via Command J. Windows users, please use Control. I'm going to use and move this down and maybe over here, and I want to select it again with the text tool. And now for the first start, I want to write here in capital letters mind, comma, maybe make another slash there, I don't know, body and sign and soul, body and soul. Great. Okay, I'm going to select all of that. Let's have a look here if we're going to use it under light. Yes, let's start with that as well. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Okay, something around this size, which is around 16 pixels. I'm always judging this actually while just looking at the logo. Then as well, let's take the tracking here and just move that out a bit more. Around 280, accept that. And first of all, what I'm going to do now is zoom out a little bit. So press Z on the keyboard, zoom out. I'm going to take the move tool, select the right layer, and just literally move that over a little bit. So I can see it's a little bit too big. What I actually want to have is that the B here and the M also start at the right position, and again end at the right position somewhere over here. So it's a little bit too big. So again, take soul and the whole word here just with the text tool. I'm going to go back to tracking and just take that down, maybe yes, to like a 250. I'm going to just write it in here, 250. Great, accept that. Yeah, and that's basically it. I'm going to go back to view, clear the guides, and just take this layer again, move it around a little bit, having a look here. Yeah, and that looks kind of good to me so far. Maybe beauty down a little bit further, and playing with this a bit. But so overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, so what I'm going to still do is just take the layers here via holding Shift again, press Command G, and I'm just going to write here text. Okay, it's also small and big, doesn't matter. And again, here are shapes and the line, and I'm just going to press Command G again, and also write here shapes. Maybe let's do it correct this time. Okay, and select all of it. Yeah, and you can create another group if you want. So I'm just going to write here logo, just keeping stuff organized and sorted. Okay, so for the background still, again, like I showed you guys in the few last tutorials, so this is normally how I stop the tutorial and everything is set. But what I actually wanted to do is also add a background now. So I'm going to open my previous folder here and just show you guys quickly what I've also found on the web again. Just a nice image here. Let me just turn off everything and show you guys this. So this was basically what I found, just a very blurry forest, also with a lot of orange, a bit of green colors in there, a bit of a sun flare here. Maybe let's take that all the way up. So this is what it looked like, and it wasn't even sharp, just a really unsharp image. But that's what I'm looking for. So again, let's also move this unsharp layer all the way to the top and select our background here and the logo again. Let's turn off all of the rest here that we don't even have. Okay, so that's how I imported it right onto my canvas, just dragged it into Photoshop. First step again, what I'm going to do is just take the whole opacity down maybe to like a 50%. Let's have a look here, so it's not that strong. Yeah, 48%, somewhere around there. But the background here is obviously still too light, our complete new background here that we actually had from the start. So again, back to adjustments, I'm just going to take the levels here, and just with levels, going to make this a little bit. Let me just make a little bit of space here. So what I'm basically going to do is just take the dark sliders down a little bit. Let's have a look. That will just brighten it again. Sorry, actually the light sliders. So just darken that down a bit here. Okay, and as well the mid-tone sliders here, you can also darken those a little bit still. Then as well the layer 2 here, which is actually the image. Again, taking the opacity down just to like a 40%, and that's basically it. Going to select again with Shift the background and level 2 layer, again Command G, and that was my background. So very, very simple. I showed this again actually a few times already before in some other tutorials. Now, last step that I still want to do is just take the logo group here, double tap on that, get into the layer styles, and just add a drop shadow. So as you guys can see, select drop shadow and get into the main menu here, the structure. So what I want to do is just take the opacity down, obviously first of all, just a little bit. If you guys like it really strong, you can add it. I don't really like it that strong. Maybe just a little bit, like 27%. Then as well distance, you can also play a little bit with that if you like a little bit further away or not. So I'm actually going to go with something like this, 9 pixels over here, and size, you can also play with that. Sometimes it gives a little bit of a shadow just behind it instead of a sharp shadow next to it, as you guys can see. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit, like a 5 to 8%. Okay, so that's basically it. And that's how we created this complete logo. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments what you think about this tutorial and our little bar that we have here at the bottom right now for our new tutorials. Then as well, if you like this tutorial, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, share it with all your buddies that can benefit from something like this, and as well, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next tutorial. Bye bye.